aboard, above, abroad, absolutely, accordingly, across, actually, after, afterward, afterwards. Again, ago, ahead, alike, all, almost, alone, along, alongside, allowed. Already, also, altogether, always, amazingly, anyhow, anytime, anyway, anywhere, apart. Approximately, around, ashore, aside, attentively, awfully, backward, badly, barely, basically. Before, beforehand, behind, below, beneath, besides, bitterly, both, brightly, carefully. Certainly, clearly, clockwise, closely, commonly, completely, consequently, conversely, daily, dangerously. Deadly, deeply, definitely, deliberately, directly, down, downstairs, downward, each, early. Easily, east, eastwards, either, elsewhere, enough, especially, even, eventually, ever. Everywhere, exactly, exceedingly, exclusively, extra, extremely, fairly, far, farther, fast. Finally, firmly, first, forever, fortunately, forward, freely, frequently, friendly, furthermore. Generally, gently, gradually, greatly, happily, hardly, heavily, hence, here, high. Highly, hitherto, home, however, immediately, incidentally, increasingly, indeed, indoors, inland. Inside, instantly, instead, invariably, inward, just, largely, last, late, lately. Later, least, left, less, lightly, likely, likewise, literally, loudly, low. Luckily, mainly, maybe, meantime, meanwhile, mechanically, mentally, merely, monthly, more. Moreover, most, mostly, much, namely, nationwide, naturally, near, nearby, nearly. Neatly, necessarily, neither, never, nevertheless, newly, next, noisily, nonetheless, nor. Normally, north, northwards, now, nowadays, nowhere, obviously, occasionally, often, once. Only, otherwise, outdoors, outside, outward, outwards, overhead, overnight, overseas, partially. Particularly, partly, past, perfectly, perhaps, permanently, personally, politely, possibly, practically. Presently, presumably, pretty, previously, primarily, probably, properly, publicly, purely, quarterly. Quick, quickly, quietly, quite, rapidly, rarely, rather, readily, really, reasonably. Recently, regardless, regularly, relatively, repeatedly, respectively, right, roughly, sadly, safely. Scarcely, seemingly, seldom, separately, seriously, severely, sharply, shortly, sideways, silently. Similarly, simply, sincerely, skillfully, slightly, slow, slowly, smoothly, so, softly. Solely, someday, somehow, sometime, sometimes, somewhat, somewhere, soon, south, specially. Steadily, still, straight, straightforward, strictly, strongly, successfully, such, suddenly, sufficiently. Surely, surprisingly, that, then, there, thereafter, thereby, therefore, though, thus. Tightly, today, together, tomorrow, tonight, too, totally, truly, twice, ultimately. Underground, underneath, undoubtedly, unfortunately, unusually, up, upstairs, upward, upwards, usually. Very, virtually, weakly, west, westward, westwards, whenever, wherever, wholly, wide. Widely, willingly, worldwide, wrong, yearly, yesterday, yet,